Hello everyone, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I am going to be doing my April book wrap-up. So I have been having some serious issues with my camera and I've been playing with it for like 20 minutes now and I'm just so over it. So the setup is a little weird. If only you guys can see, it's like the camera is perched up on my son's crib because there's a window right here and that's the only way I can have good lighting. And I wanted to get this filmed for you guys, so hopefully it looks okay. So this month I read 6 books, which is an improvement from last month, so I guess that's good, right? Okay, so I have them, I'm just going to put them all right here and just start from the top. These are in no particular order. I'm just going to grab them as I go, and of course they're going to fall. Okay, here we go. So the first one is called The Wife by Wife-Alafair Burke. Now, I really bought this book because of the cover. For some reason, I love this cover, and obviously I love thrillers. So the whole premise of this book never really grabbed my attention too much, and you know, after reading it I was like, yeah, I just wasn't that big of a fan as everybody else was of this book. So basically it's about this married couple, and the husband gets accused of sexually harassing one of the interns at his job. That's the basic premise of, you know, what happens in this book, and it kind of goes from there. It's a lot of like police procedural stuff, which I'm not the biggest fan of. And I don't know, it was just kind of boring to me. The writing style never really grabbed my attention. I think I gave this a 3-star. You know, it's not a bad book, it just was kind of boring. It wasn't super thrilling, it wasn't like edge of your seat suspense. So yeah, I give this a 3-star. If you do like police procedural, like domestic suspense books, then you might like this, but honestly the cover just, I don't know, for some reason I'm like drawn to this cover and I feel like it'll look really good on my shelf. So this one was just okay for me. Alright, the next one, I did a full review of this on my channel, so if you want to know my full thoughts, you can go watch that video. But I enjoyed this book. This one was really different. It was very different. It's called My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Ottessa. Oh, I'm sorry, I should have looked up how to pronounce that. I didn't remember how to pronounce that in my review either, and I'm so sorry. It's, yeah, Ottessa M. We'll say that. So basically this one is about a woman who is depressed and wants to sleep a year of her life away in hopes that she will feel better after that year is up, like more refreshed and just feeling like herself again. She has had a pretty rough upbringing, and you know, she thinks that sleeping her a year away of her life will help her out and help her feel better. That's very basic premise. Again, watch my review video of this book if you want to know more about it, but I did give it like 4 stars. So it was pretty good. I related to this book a lot more than I thought I would in different ways. I feel like you are either going to love or hate this book. The main character is she's got a very specific way of thinking. She's set in her ways, and I don't know, you would either love her or you hate her, but I really did enjoy this book and I would recommend it. Okay, now the next one is called You Have a Very Soft Voice, Susan by Susan Fenston, and it says with Brian Whitney. Now, I honestly didn't do research on who Brian Whitney was and what, you know, what he did to contribute to this book. I was so focused on this story from Susan's perspective that I didn't even think to look that up, which I probably should have, but this book was really crazy, and it's crazy because it's a true story of internet stalking. It's pretty long, so this one was like it was like 450 pages or something like that. So it took me a couple chapters to get into it because the beginning is kind of boring, honestly. It's just really getting the backstory of this woman's life. But once it starts getting into like the whole internet stalking thing, it gets really interesting. So basically this one's about this woman, Susan, who is trying to look for her dad's side of the family through genealogy.com, which is like a family tree website where you can look up, you know, certain family members and see if you can find somebody that you know. So she posted an inquiry basically saying, hey, I'm Susan, I would like to know if anybody knows my father's side of the family, and she leaves, I think, her email address or something. She leaves some kind of information where you can contact her. So somebody from her family contacts her through this website, and you know, they're saying that they're part of her dad's side of the family and they would love to meet her. And then she starts getting these crazy emails, very explicit, disgusting emails, a lot of them threatening her life, threatening her boyfriend's life, and it kind of just spirals out of control from there. I would recommend going into this book as blind as you can. It is crazy. It's honestly insane that this book actually happened to somebody. Like, I don't know. It's crazy because it really makes you think where the internet, how easy somebody can find all of your information out just from the internet. So you really have to be careful because stuff like this obviously happens and it's insane. Just all from a simple post on that genealogy.com website turned into this woman living in fear every day of her life for many years, and she's just suffering, and the police don't take her case seriously, and she feels lost. She doesn't know what to do. Her boyfriend kind of just is distancing himself from her in this situation because she gets so wrapped up in it, and she just wants to figure out what's going on, who this person is, who is sending her hundreds and hundreds of emails just of nasty stuff, and there's like a cult and cannibalism involved in the story. So yeah, if any of that sounds interesting to you, I would definitely recommend it. It is a pretty long book, but yeah, I gave this 4 stars. I was really entertained, you know, like I said, once the stalking part comes up, and yeah, it takes a weird turn towards the end and you figure out who this person was that's emailing her. And it's just crazy. I can't believe this happened to this woman. If that happened to me, I would be scarred for life. I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't trust anyone I would talk to on the internet. So yeah, this one's crazy, but I do recommend it. It was definitely entertaining. And I feel weird saying that because this is like a sad story that this happened to somebody, but obviously the point of writing it as well was to entertain a little bit. Like with her writing style, and she does have a talent for writing. I don't know if this was her debut novel, but I know she's not, this book isn't very well known yet, so I don't know if this was a debut. Another thing is, this does have kind of a lot of typos, but you know, that wasn't a huge deal to me. I think it was well worth the read. So I gave that one 4 stars. Okay, the next one is the Arrangement by Robyn Harding. I really enjoyed this book. So this one is basically about a sugar baby, sugar daddy relationship that goes wrong, pretty much. Again, with this one, I would recommend going into this as blind as possible. So I believe I gave this one 4 stars as well. It definitely was entertaining. I've never read a thriller based on a sugar daddy, sugar baby relationship, so when I heard the synopsis of this, I was definitely interested. So yeah, I would recommend this book. I think that the writing style was not anything crazy. It wasn't anything magnificent. I think it was, you know, easy to follow along, and when I say that, I don't mean that in a bad way. That's just kind of why I knocked down a star from 5 to 4 stars, just because you know, the writing wasn't something super fantastic and the story wasn't super crazy. The twist, I kind of guessed it, but either way, it was still worth a read, and I definitely recommend it. If it sounds at all interesting to you, then I would pick it up. I gave it 4 stars. Yeah, again, go into this as blind as possible, because sometimes when you read some summaries of books and start looking at reviews, you can get spoiled, and that's happened to me a lot recently. So I've kind of just learned to look at like half of the synopsis, and if it sounds interesting to me, then I give it a chance, because sometimes there's spoilers in some of these synopses on Goodreads or wherever you look at your reviews. Okay. Next one is My Lovely Wife by Samantha Downing, and I love this cover. I don't know. This is probably like my favorite cover I've seen this year. I don't know why, I just really like it. So I'm sure you guys have seen this one floating around book 2, but it's basically about a married couple who lives a very normal life to the public, but, you know, in their free time they like to kill people. And this one took a very crazy turn at the end that I was not expecting. I'm not going to say anything more than that, because again, with this one you should go into this blind. I think I gave this one 4 stars as well. I really did enjoy it. I think I would have enjoyed it more if I didn't have to take so many breaks through it, but I was just so busy while reading this book that I couldn't sit down and just read it straight through. If I was able to do that, I think I would have liked it more, but I just had to keep putting it down and picking it up, and it kind of takes away from the experience when you have to do that. But overall, I really did enjoy it, and I would recommend it. If that sounds interesting to you, I would definitely pick this one up. It was really fun. And this was her debut novel, which is crazy. But yeah, I love that cover. Okay, and the last one is Ellen Hilderbrand, The Rumor. Now, this is a very different book than anything I've ever read before, and typically not something I would go for. This one is kind of like a chick lit drama. For some reason, I was in like a really summery mood and decided to buy a bunch of books like this, like chick lit, based on the beach kind of books. I don't know why. I ended up really enjoying this. I gave it a 4 stars as well. I feel like I've had a lot of 4 stars this month. Yeah, they were all 4-star books besides The Wife. So yeah, this one's basically about a bunch of people that live on Nantucket Island, and the town that they live in, people love to gossip, and people love to twist around something that they hear into something very exaggerated, and that happens to spread around the whole island. And eventually it comes back to the people that it's about. So it's just a book basically full of rumors, lies. I don't know. It was interesting, but it definitely kept me entertained. There's a lot of characters in this book, so one thing I do have to say, there's like no chapter breaks. It's just like an ongoing story, and it just, I don't know, it was kind of weird. Like, the setup of it was weird, but I did enjoy it. I'm surprised I gave it 4 stars because I usually don't like books like this. But, you know, I thought it was pretty entertaining, and I would read something by this author again. Yeah, basically, it's about this married couple and another married couple, and they're like the ideal couples. They have everything they could ever want, nice houses, you know, kids, a seemingly good family, but behind closed doors, things aren't always what they seem, and both of those families are really struggling, and rumors start to get out about these families, and their reputations kind of get ruined, and it's just a lot of gossip and things like that. But I do think this is a really good beach summer read if this sounds interesting to you at all. Yeah, again, I typically don't ever read chick lit books like this, but for some reason I wanted to, and I'm glad I did. I would recommend it if you like that kind of thing. I did give it a 4 stars. So yeah, those are the books that I read this month, and overall I did have a pretty good reading month. So right now I am reading Runaway by Harlan Coben. It's in the living room, and yeah, so far I'm enjoying it. I've heard super good things about it, and yeah, hopefully I end up liking that one as much as everybody else. I hope whatever books you guys read this month that you really enjoyed them, and let me know in the comments below what books you read, or if you've read any of the books that I have mentioned today, what you thought about them if you have read any of those. So yeah, I will let you guys go now. It is such a nasty, gloomy day outside, and I'm like, my window is wide open and I'm sitting here filming in front of it, so I hope no one can see me. It's so awkward filming like this because I'm usually like more over there, but the lighting was not on my side today. So anyways, I hope you guys have a good day and have had a good reading month in the month of April, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!